Stop buying pre-marinated meat. You're literally paying extra to poison yourself with sodium bombs and chemical cocktails. These 5 brands are the worst offenders, and one of them has sodium levels so dangerous it'll make you physically cough when you cook it. Welcome back. Today we're ranking 5 pre-marinated meat brands that are basically paying extra to ruin your dinner. Then I'll show you the only 2 brands that actually deliver quality. And the #1 worst brand? You probably have it in your fridge right now. Let's dive in and expose who's serving quality versus who's serving garbage in fancy packaging. Number 5. Tyson Grilled and Ready. The rubbery disappointment. Tyson's Grilled and Ready promises convenience. Pre-cooked meat you just heat and eat. Sounds perfect for busy weeknights until you actually taste it and realize you've been scammed by marketing. The texture is the first offense. This meat is rubbery. Not tender, not juicy. Rubbery like you're chewing a stress ball that's been flavored with liquid smoke. It's got that weird, bouncy texture that makes you wonder what they did to this poor bird during processing. A single serving contains 480 to 520 milligrams of sodium. That's a quarter of your daily limit in one piece of chicken. And let's be honest, nobody eats just one serving. Eat a normal portion and you've just consumed half your daily sodium intake from mediocre pre-cooked chicken that tastes like sadness. But here's what they're not telling you. This meat has been cooked twice. Once at the factory where it's pre-cooked, then again when you reheat it at home. By the second cooking, any moisture that survived the first round is completely gone. You're left with dry, chewy chicken that no amount of sauce can save. And customers are calling out the real issues. One reviewer put it bluntly, "Tyson is absolutely disgusting. They pump their chickens full of hormones and keep them in tight cages. Literally, any brand is better than them. When even budget-conscious shoppers tell you to spend more elsewhere, that's saying something profound about your product quality. The flavor is aggressively artificial. That grilled taste, it's liquid smoke and artificial flavoring doing all the work. There's no char, no real grill marks from actual grilling. Just brown stripes painted on with caramel coloring. It's the meat equivalent of those fake grill marks on fast food burgers. Pure theater with no substance behind the visual deception. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment. Beyond chicken, you've got sodium phosphates, modified food starch, carrageenan, and preservatives with names you can't pronounce. These additives maintain that rubbery texture and extend shelf life indefinitely, but they don't do anything for flavor or nutrition. Here's the real problem. This meat has been cooked twice. Once at the factory, then again at home. By the second cooking, you're left with chicken so dry it could be used as sandpaper. The verdict: rubbery texture that defies nature, excessive sodium, artificial everything, and questionable sourcing. Literally, any other brand is better than subjecting yourself to this disaster. But think rubbery chicken is bad? Wait until you hear about the next brand. Customers are literally scraping off the marinade before eating, and it still tastes terrible underneath. Number 4. Perdue Shortcuts. The flavorless wonder. Perdue markets their shortcuts as convenient protein for salads and wraps. Available in teriyaki, honey roasted, and southwestern flavors, they promise restaurant-quality taste. What you actually get is watery disappointment in an overpriced plastic tray. The chicken itself is watery and bland, lacking any real chicken flavor whatsoever. Slice open the package and you'll notice liquid pooling at the bottom. That's not marinade adding flavor, that's retained water from processing. Chicken processors inject poultry with water in sodium phosphate solutions to increase weight and appear juicier. You're literally paying chicken prices for salt water that dilutes what little flavor exists. Customers are noticing what Perdue doesn't advertise. As one buyer observed, mass-produced pre-cooked, probably packed full of preservatives. This is not natural chicken. I'm sure there's tons of preservatives to make it last. When regular shoppers can spot your heavy processing without food science degrees, your marketing claims about quality ring completely hollow. The carved aspect sounds fancy until you realize it just means the chicken is sliced thin enough that you can't tell how low quality it is. These aren't thick, hearty slices. They're thin shavings that curl up and dry out the moment they hit any heat. The marinade flavors are laughably weak. The teriyaki tastes like someone described teriyaki to someone who'd never tasted it. Then that person tried recreating it using only sugar and salt. The honey roasted has a chemical sweetness that doesn't taste like actual honey touched this chicken. The southwestern variety has spices that are more suggestion than actual flavor. But wait, it gets worse. The texture is stringy and dry despite all that injected water. It's the paradox of processed chicken, simultaneously waterlogged during storage and bone dry after heating. The protein fibers separate into sad little strings that stick in your teeth. The sodium content ranges from 400 to 500 milligrams per serving, and the serving size is absurdly small. It's designed to make the nutritional facts look better than they are. Eat enough to actually feel satisfied, and you're looking at 800 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium for a few ounces of mediocre chicken. The verdict: mass-produced, preservative-packed chicken with weak marinade and excessive sodium. Not natural, not good, not worth your money. Bland and watery is frustrating, but what if a marinade was so chemically aggressive it arrived at your door on its expiration date? That nightmare is coming up next. Number 3. Smithfield Marinated Pork. The chemical cocktail. Smithfield offers pre-marinated pork tenderloins, chops, and roasts in flavors like teriyaki, peppercorn, and applewood smoked. They market these as easy weeknight dinners that'll impress your family. What they're really selling is low-quality pork floating in chemical marinade designed to hide inferior meat quality. The first red flag is the ingredient list, which is longer than a CVS receipt. Beyond pork and marinade, you've got sodium phosphate, potassium lactate, sodium diacetate, and sodium benzoate. These aren't spices or flavor enhancers. They're preservatives and texturizers designed to make cheap pork appear more expensive than it actually is. But here's where things get infuriating for actual customers. One buyer reported a common problem. Item was delivered on same day of expiration date on label. This has become fairly common recently. Can't get a hold of anyone at store to do anything about it. When you're receiving pre-marinated meat on its expiration date, you're not getting fresh product. You're getting whatever they're desperately trying to move before it goes bad and has to be thrown out. Sodium phosphate is particularly concerning. It's injected into the meat to retain water and create a plumper appearance. This is the same trick used in cheap deli meat and processed chicken. You think you're buying premium marinated pork, but you're actually buying pork that's been pumped full of saltwater solution to increase weight. And wait until you hear this. The marinade itself is sugar and salt with some token flavoring thrown in. The teriyaki version contains high fructose corn syrup as the second ingredient. You're not getting authentic Asian-inspired flavors. You're getting pork candy with soy sauce vibes. The applewood smoked flavor comes from liquid smoke, not actual smoking over real wood. The texture after cooking is mushy and weird, nothing like properly cooked pork should be. The sodium phosphate creates this almost spongy quality, where the meat doesn't have the firm, meaty texture you'd expect from quality pork. The verdict: chemical-laden pork with questionable freshness, drowned in sugar-based marinades, arriving at your door on expiration day. Hard pass on all counts. Chemical cocktails are bad enough, but the next brand's marinade is so misleading that even the name is a complete lie. Number 2. Hormel Always Tender. The misleading name. Hormel's Always Tender pork products come pre-marinated in various flavors, promising, as the name suggests, always tender results that'll make you look like a culinary genius. The reality is less always tender and more sometimes edible if you're desperate. The name Always Tender is doing heavy lifting here because the actual meat quality doesn't support that claim whatsoever. This pork has been heavily processed with sodium phosphate and water to artificially create tenderness through chemical injection. Real tenderness comes from quality meat and proper cooking techniques, not from chemical injection that fundamentally changes the meat's structure. But here's the real nightmare. One disappointed customer described their experience. "This is the first time I've tried this flavor of pork tenderloin, and I won't be buying it again." The seasoning was very, very strong with a bitter lemon taste, overly salty, and a chemical-like aftertaste. We tried scraping the rub off the meat before eating, and it helped, but it was still very disappointing. When customers are literally trying to scrape off your marinade before eating the meat, and it still tastes bad underneath, you've fundamentally failed. The whole point is that the marinade should enhance the meat, not overpower it to the point where people want to remove it entirely. The water content is absurdly high and borders on fraudulent. Hormel injects these pork products with up to 20% solution by weight. You're paying pork prices for water, salt, and chemicals mixed together. It's like buying a $10 cocktail that's 80% ice. Technically, you got what you ordered, but you've been scammed on value. The marinades are overwhelmingly salty with little complexity or depth. The peppercorn flavor tastes like someone ground up peppercorns and threw them into salt water without any other seasoning. The teriyaki is sweet salty with no depth or umami. The mesquite is liquid smoke mixed with more salt. The texture is the real issue that ruins the eating experience. Because of all the water injection, the pork doesn't cook like normal pork should. It doesn't brown properly, it doesn't develop a crust, and it releases so much water during cooking that you end up steaming it rather than searing it. The sodium content varies by product, but averages 400 to 600 milligrams per serving. The serving sizes are laughably small. 4 ounces for a pork tenderloin when most people eat 6 to 8 ounces as a normal portion. The verdict: misleading name. Chemical-tasting marinade so bad customers scrape it off. Water-injected pork pretending to be premium. Avoid completely. All of these brands are terrible, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to what number 1 does to your health. This one's actually dangerous, and you need to hear this. Number 1. Foster Farms Marinated Chicken, the Sodium Nightmare. And here's the worst offender on our entire list. Foster Farms marinated chicken products. These come in various cuts and flavors, all promising juicy, flavorful chicken that'll make weeknight dinners easy. What you actually get is a sodium bomb that should come with a blood pressure warning label. The sodium content is absolutely insane and borderline dangerous. Some Foster Farms marinated chicken products contain over 700 milligrams of sodium per 4-ounce serving. That's nearly a third of your daily sodium limit in a single chicken breast before you add any sides, sauces, or seasonings. Eat a normal 6 to 8 ounce portion and you've consumed over 1,000 milligrams of sodium just from the chicken alone. But the real horror is in how these marinades actually taste when you cook them. One customer's review captures the experience perfectly. It has too much vinegar. It's so strong it made me cough. It even gave me a headache. I thought it'd be better, but it's a no for me and my family. When your marinade is literally making people cough and giving them headaches from the fumes during cooking, you've crossed from aggressive flavoring into chemical assault territory. The marinade is less marinade and more liquid salt with chicken flavoring and excessive vinegar. Open a package and you'll see chicken swimming in liquid that's more brine than anything else, with an acrid smell that warns you something's wrong. The ingredient list reveals why. Water, salt, sodium phosphate, modified food starch, and a parade of preservatives designed to extend shelf life indefinitely. Here's what they're not telling you. Foster Farms uses this aggressive marination to hide the fact that they're using lower-grade chicken that wouldn't sell well on its own merits. Good chicken doesn't need to be drowned in vinegar so strong it causes respiratory distress when cooking. The texture after cooking is simultaneously dry and mushy in a way that shouldn't be possible. The sodium phosphate creates this weird consistency where the outside feels dry, but the inside has a soft, almost paste-like texture that's deeply unappetizing. The flavors are aggressively artificial and unpleasant. The lemon pepper tastes like lemon-scented cleaning product mixed with black pepper and excessive salt. The teriyaki is corn syrup with soy sauce food coloring. The garlic herb tastes like garlic powder mixed with dried herbs from 1987. And wait, there's more bad news. Foster Farms also has a disturbing history of food safety issues, including multiple salmonella outbreaks linked to their chicken products over the years. When a company can't even guarantee their chicken won't make you sick with foodborne illness, trusting them with pre-marinated products feels like playing Russian roulette with your digestive system. The verdict: criminal sodium levels, vinegar so strong it causes coughing and headaches, bottom-tier chicken quality, food safety concerns. The absolute worst pre-marinated meat on the market. So those are the 5 disasters to avoid at all costs. But I promised you 2 brands actually worth buying. And the first one will surprise you with how clean the ingredients actually are. Good brand number 2, Kevin's Natural Foods, the clean ingredient champion. Finally, a pre-marinated meat brand that doesn't require a chemistry degree to understand the ingredient list or make you question what you're putting in your body. Kevin's Natural Foods offers various marinated proteins using real ingredients you can actually pronounce and recognize as food. The ingredient lists are refreshingly short and simple, reading like actual recipes, instead of sodium phosphate, modified food starch, and preservatives with chemical names. You get actual spices, real herbs, and recognizable ingredients. The chicken tikka masala contains chicken, tomatoes, coconut milk, real spices, actual food that exists in nature. Customers who've made the switch from conventional brands notice the difference immediately. As one satisfied buyer put it, most of Kevin's stuff is good, and especially if it's on sale, it's a great meal. I will die on this hill, given we are a dairy-free household. When someone's willing to die on a hill defending your product, that's genuine customer loyalty earned through consistent quality, not marketing manipulation. The sodium content is reasonable compared to conventional brands that load everything with salt. Most Kevin's products contain 200 to 350 milligrams per serving, which is significantly lower than the 600 to 800 milligrams found in typical pre-marinated meats. You can actually eat a normal portion without consuming your entire daily sodium allowance in one meal. The meat quality is noticeably better from the first bite. Kevin's uses antibiotic-free chicken and grass-fed beef when possible, which you can taste immediately. The texture after cooking is what meat should be: firm, juicy, with natural muscle fiber definition you can see and feel. No weird mushiness, no rubbery texture, no chemical aftertaste. The flavors are complex and authentic, tasting like real cuisines. The Korean BBQ actually tastes like Korean BBQ, with proper gochujang and sesame notes, not like sugar with soy sauce. The cilantro lime has real cilantro flavor that's fresh and bright. The garlic butter chicken tastes like actual butter and garlic, not artificial flavoring pretending to be those things. The convenience factor is genuine without quality compromise. These come fully marinated and ready to cook, usually in under 15 minutes. You get real convenience without sacrificing quality or drowning in sodium and chemicals. The price is higher, usually $8 to $12 per package, but you're paying for quality ingredients and actual food instead of water-injected meat with chemical marinade. The verdict: clean ingredients, reasonable sodium, quality meat, authentic flavors. Worth every penny for people who want real food without compromise. But there's one brand that beats even Kevin's on value while maintaining quality, and you probably drive past it regularly. Good brand. Number 1, Trader Joe's Marinated Meats, the quality value play. And the champion is Trader Joe's house brand Marinated Meats. They've figured out the magic formula. Deliver quality pre-marinated protein at reasonable prices without the sodium bombs and chemical additives that plague the industry. The ingredient lists are clean and simple, reading like recipes your grandmother would recognize. Their shawarma chicken contains chicken, spices, lemon juice, garlic, actual ingredients that make sense. No sodium phosphate, no mysterious natural flavors, just real food ingredients you'd use in your own kitchen. Real home cooks are creating restaurant-quality results consistently. One recipe using TJ's marinated chicken became viral, combining just 4 ingredients: Greek yogurt, lemon, olive oil, and onion salt. The chicken comes out tangy and juicy, with marinade that tenderizes the chicken. It comes out succulent and moist in a way I've never experienced on the grill before. When professional food writers rave about your products, you're doing something right. The sodium content is moderate. Most TJ's marinated meats contain 300 to 400 milligrams per serving, manageable without destroying your daily intake. You can eat a normal portion and still have room for sides. The meat quality punches well above its price point. Trader Joe's uses higher grade chicken and pork than you'd expect. The chicken actually tastes like chicken. The pork is properly marbled and tender without chemical injection. The marinades are flavorful and balanced. Carne asada has authentic Mexican spicing. Chimichurri chicken has real herb flavor. Korean-style beef has proper sweet-savory balance with actual gochugaru and sesame. The price is shockingly reasonable, usually $5 to $7 per package, competitive with garbage brands while delivering significantly better quality. The cooking results are consistently good. The meat browns properly, develops real flavor, and comes out juicy. No weird textures, no excessive water release. Just meat that cooks like meat should. The verdict: quality meat, clean ingredients, balanced flavors, reasonable sodium, and excellent value. The best pre-marinated meat at any grocery store. There you have it. 5 pre-marinated meat brands selling sodium-soaked garbage hiding behind convenience. And 2 brands actually worth your money. Most pre-marinated meat is a disaster. Excessive salt, water injection, chemical additives, and low-quality meat covered in aggressive flavoring. That's the industry standard. Your body doesn't need 1,000 milligrams of sodium in one chicken breast. Your taste buds don't need vinegar so strong it makes you cough. Your wallet doesn't need to pay premium prices for water-injected meat. Stick with Kevin's Natural Foods or Trader Joe's if you want real food. What do you think? Share your pre-marinated meat disasters in the comments and subscribe for more food truth. I'm exposing another food category next week that's even worse than this one. See you in the next one.